more familiar to UK viewers than ever before. But there's been a new trend. Social media has been ablaze with campaigns to save fan favourites, with one in particular, Fox's fantasy cop show Lucifer, making the most enormous din online. Amazon and Netflix take note. Here's the problem. 3 shows sum up the state of the industry. Number 1, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, a police comedy. Critically popular, the audience figures were soft but not awful. But Fox wanted to make room for live sport, something that people actually watch with adverts, not on a box set 6 months later. But happy ending. After a short but vociferous celebrity fan campaign, another network, NBC, snapped up the show. Number 2, The Expanse. This science fiction space opera has an incredible 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with both audiences and critics. But again, the channel putting it out, Sci-Fi, didn't own the streaming rights. They weren't making enough money on the deal, so they scrapped their best show. Today, fans hired a plane with a banner to fly over Amazon HQ. Number 3, Lucifer. Neil Gaiman's comic book version of the biblical devil who retires from hell and moves to LA to fight crime. Again, the viewing figures were dropping, and the last series had been received poorly by some fans as too slow-paced, too formulaic.
Deep down, you know you're a monster.
But the very last episode was thrilling and ended on a massive cliffhanger.
Lucifer.
Almost daring the network, Fox again, to cancel them.
Lucifer.
Which they did. Football once again getting the blame, plus again rights, this time owned by DC Comics and Warner Disney. The incoming owners of Fox own Marvel, their superhero rivals. Well, the campaign to save Lucifer has been growing, and the charge is being led by the show's Welsh superstar Tom Ellis, who more traditional viewers may remember in his BBC days from the sitcom Miranda. He joins us now from Los Angeles, and in response to what we know is his huge fan base in America, we're welcoming for the first time our viewers who are watching this live streamed through YouTube. Thank you for joining us too. Tom Ellis, it's great to have you. Just talk us through this response from fans. It sounds overwhelming.
Hi, Emily. Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is I'm back in LA now because of the response. I was a bit sort of crushed when we heard the news, and I didn't really know what to do with it. And then when the news broke, I was absolutely bowled over by the response, and it's continued. It's not been like a one-off thing. So it's kind of encouraged not only myself, but the people who make the show, Warner Brothers and Brookheimer TV, to try and find a home for it, because it feels such a shame that so many people feel so upset that it's finished so abruptly.
Do you sense that Fox is shifting, that the networks are listening to this power?
I mean, it's a difficult one, Emily. At the core of all of these decisions, it's business, and if a show isn't doing the right business for a network, then they've every right to cancel it. And I think it's very easy for people to turn their attention towards Fox and have a go at them. But I'd like to thank Fox for 3 years of having a great opportunity to do this show. It just obviously didn't make sense for them to continue doing it for whatever reason. But unfortunately, the people that get left out in that equation are the fans.
And why do you think they're out of sync? I mean, why do you think the network is out of sync with what fans and viewers, are actually saying?
Well, like you said in the opening VT, TV's changed a lot, and network TV over here is very much locked in to what it was, and they rely on the Nielsen ratings to let them know who's watching and when, so that they can, create the advertising space, and that's ultimately what the business model is. What that doesn't encompass on the ratings is passion, and social media has now become this platform for fans because of streaming, because Lucifer lives way outside of the Fox domain now, and we sort of knew that all along. But this sort of response is just kind of like, absolutely solidified that feeling.
So, Tom, as an actor, let me just ask you, you thanked Fox for their sort of devotion so far, but do you feel that you would prefer to leave mainstream TV with all the complications about sports and ad rights and all the rest of it and just, go straight on Netflix, go on Amazon, so you avoid that? Would you now talk to the streamers?
I mean, listen, I'm not in a place to talk about conversations that are or are not happening. All I know is that a conversation has been sparked by this, and we are trying to find a place. I think the obvious place would be somewhere like that. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine situation is a bit different because the studio that made Brooklyn Nine-Nine is encompassed in the same network of NBC, which is where it's now gone to. So that's much more of a clear decision to make. This, because Warner Brothers are an independent studio, they don't have a network. It means that there are other places we can take it, and those are potentially exciting places. But who knows? Watch this space is all I can say.
And do you think, in brutal terms, that there is a risk that social media amplifies, if you like, the sound of the fan base when, as you say, it has to, at the end of the day, come back to the hard business facts of what makes them money?
I think so, but I think it's also worth letting the fans know why these decisions are made, because they often feel cheated, and that is the case here because they only know the programme. They don't know everything else behind it.
Tom, great to have you on Newsnight. Tom Ellis, thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Let us, before we go, just take you through tomorrow's papers. They've all led on very different things. The Daily Telegraph has